Okay, I have, I think, just two more questions. You've kind of said this really, but I'm about how what your process is and how you help people with Sjogren's at because on your website you say combining functional testing, targeted supplement okay, I can speak, supplementing and healing diet, breaking the autoimmune cycle because that can like calm the autoimmune cycle. Is that what you mean? Sort of calm
I mean,
it.
like, yeah, so yeah, I can explain that in a second. Yeah.
Okay, and regenerating damaged tissues. Um, and just basically helping with the Sjogren symptoms and flare-ups and strengthening your overall health.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could explain
Yeah. Okay. So the actual process, we have a 3 month process, starts with a dietary evaluation, symptom evaluation. We will look at your medical history. We'll and then we'll do a really thorough initial consultation where we would basically ask a lot into your symptoms, your health history, really going back in time to really start painting a picture of who you are. Like, how have you got to this point? And start trying to identify some trigger points, and maybe from that which functional tests. So these are different from the conventional medical tests that you get from your doctor. These are functional tests that would be looking for potential root cause issues, underlying contributing factors, things going wrong in the body that your doctors are not looking for. So more subtle things in the body that could be contributing to the disease process.
such
So
as
from there, it could
just
be, well, let's say, okay, so for example, this is from today. This is why it comes to mind. The client now who has lots of gastrointestinal symptoms, constipation, bloating, a few other things. Also very dry eyes and dry mouth as well. But her main concern right now is the digestive issues. Um, so one of the tests we ran has flagged potential mold exposure or
wow.
toxicity. So that's not something we see in every client. Sometimes it's there.
Mm.
So now that becomes well, there's that, and then it's also looking at their mitochondrial function. So mitochondria being the parts of the cell that produce energy. In her case, this test showed that her mitochondria might not be functioning properly. So this is a functional issue. This is not something that a medical doctor would ever look at.
Yeah, no, they
It's
wouldn't.
not part of a diagnosis of
No,
any disease, really.
yeah.
So,
I
but now you
see.
have these, okay, so there's some indications of a mold exposure, indications of mitochondrial dysfunction. Those two to go together like a hand in a glove. Plus, it explains all of her gastrointestinal issues. It doesn't mean it's the only cause of it, but if that's the case, then okay, that could be like a root cause. That where is her? Does she have a source of mold? What's going on in her house?
Yeah,
It might not be her house. It might be her immune system is not able to clear the mold toxic as you know as it normally would. Like she's got a husband, he's fine.
oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
normally the case with mold
yeah,
toxicities. It's the
yeah,
individual and how their body is
yeah,
tolerating or not tolerating these toxins,
yeah.
um, not clearing them. So that's an immune system issue. So that's
So
like
you do that, yeah.
an underlying root cause contributing factor to potentially her thing. So now at this point, it's like, okay, we can look into that deeper and get like an actual reading on her on top mycotoxins. So there's an indication that she has exposure to some molds, but we don't know at this point if she actually has like elevated toxins
Yeah,
from the mold. That's a
yeah.
question,
Oh, that's interesting.
and that's what I'm recommending that she does do that, a test in that, and that will give us a much clearer target as
Yeah,
to what recommendations, what does her plan look like?
yeah,
So you can imagine the difference between that and someone who we found who has blood sugar dysregulation.
yeah,
And if they have blood sugar dysregulation, meaning that they're not processing blood sugars properly, maybe it's affecting their insulin levels, and that itself will have a massive impact. So that's like a totally different
yeah,
journey. So
yeah,
yes, they both have Sjogren's. Their
yeah,
symptoms could look exactly the same,
yeah,
but the root causes, the underlying factors here, or the contributing factors, are utterly different.
yeah,
And that's just two examples. And if I continued with another 5 patients,
yeah.
it would be five other constellation of issues, and
Yeah.
all have it. So it's about what you focus on. So in the process, at that point, it would be like, okay, what tests, based on the information that we've put together so far, what tests could help unlock the next phase? So instead of just guessing and assuming things,
Yeah.
which sends you in circles sometimes, we can test things and get some objective markers and say, okay, well, this is like what matters most for you. Put together a diet and supplementation and lifestyle protocol that addresses those specific issues that we found with you. Then you carry it out with our support. So we would either have more frequent check-ins or less frequent check-ins depending on your situation. Um, and then we'll basically reassess those recommendations, see how you've responded. Uh, if you responded well, then we'll build on it. If you haven't, then we look deeper. Or
Yeah.
there's always something to learn from it,
Yeah.
from that
Yeah.
process. And then over 3 months, we basically reassess and tweak that plan 2 or 3 times.
And
Then by
that was,
they've got a highly tweaked and optimized plan that hopefully has delivered you some significant symptomatic improvements, has given you control over your symptoms because now you know what to eat, what not to eat, what supplements
yeah.
help, which are not worth it.
Yeah.
Better idea
Yeah.
about what your underlying causes are. So you're less in this like state of mystery.
Yeah.
We don't
And
answer
I
the question, but
that's thank you
start.
so much. That I totally see exactly what you do. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's really good to know. And also I love that you have the 3 month because any you're giving enough space to see if these how these things develop and work and things take time. I
Yeah.
mean, some things take time. And for testing to come back, probably, I don't know.
Yeah,
It takes
exactly.
time
But
too,
some
or
of
a
them a few
season.
weeks. Yeah, some of them are a few weeks, some are a few days. So that 3 months is really, we're not aiming to solve every
Yeah,
part of the puzzle, but
yeah,
we're looking to right the ship, put it in the right direction,
yes,
get some
yeah,
objective markers. Hope, in for most people they'll have significant symptomatic improvements, but not everyone.
yeah.
Some people need longer, but this is like the minimum amount. Some people actually have like, improvements way beyond 3 months. Actually, most have improvements way before the 3 months.
I bet. Mhm.
But that's like, there's a lot that needs to be learned that you can't rush.
No, no, I think that's
Social and
great.
nutritional changes, it takes weeks and months sometimes for these things to actually start affecting how your body's operating.
Yeah, depending on how depleted or whatever, I don't know,
Yeah,
different
yeah.
things.
Your
Yeah,
absorption function,
yeah,
many, many, many things. And so, yeah, and so then after the 3 months, it's a question of, well, what's next? And that always looks different for different people, depending on how far they've got. And maybe it might look like a longer term, but less frequent kind of check in situation, or maybe you're actually good to just continue as you were.
yeah,
And we might give you like a ramp down strategy for your supplements or whatever. But some people are happy just they're good, they feel good, and they don't until they come back. We don't hear from them again. So
wow,
yeah.
wow. Yeah, so you decide after 3 months how much, well, and you'll be checking in on people, I
On
suppose.
our kind of like higher level programs, it would be like a weekly check-in, which could be 20, 30 minutes. That's with our health coach, Paloma. And she's really there to help with implementation of the plan to make sure that what we're recommending you do, that you can actually do. And if you have obstacles to carrying out the plan, then we find solutions.
Oh, she's lovely. She's really lovely.
And she's really good at that. So, we're
Yeah.
looking to like also like this isn't just about prescription, do this, don't do this. Some of it will include required behavior change.
Yeah, I was going to say psychological.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? Like you've
Yeah.
been eating a certain way for a long time, or your lifestyle is difficult, you're stressed, you don't have time to cook. What do you do? So that's all about like trying to figure out a way to get what we feel is the best thing for you in a format that you can actually do it. And if there's obstacles, we find solutions, and that's just like a very dynamic process that happens. So
Not just to say, hey, yeah, here's a list, do this, and that's that. You actually look at the environment of the person, their lifestyle, what they do, and everything. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Yeah.
it's not going to work mainly because people won't follow it.
No, of course not. Yeah.
Like 99% of people, I could give them a plan, like really clearly what to do,
Yeah.
and they won't do it because life, stress,
Yeah.
the kids, the whatever it is,
Yeah.
and they just all the will in the world, it won't be enough. So that ongoing kind of accountability is like really, really, really important.
Especially for people like me who have the fatigue that they're dealing with sometimes. And so they can't really, and brain fog. And so you
Yeah,
can't even think about some
yeah,
things. And to have
yeah.
that support
Mm,
and help with how to place things and make
mm.
things work is just it's vital.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also then within that, like what's the most important thing to be focused on? Like, okay, maybe you can't do all of it right now. Okay, in that case, what's the most important thing? We really want to like give as much support as possible to um to make these changes sustainable. And if people have any questions, maybe they can put it in the comments in your video, and um I can answer them there,
Oh,
maybe as
okay.
much as possible.
That'll be lovely. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anything I've spoken about or any
Oh,
other
thank you so
questions?
much. That's very kind of you.
Okay.
If people are interested to take this further with you and have a consultation, maybe you could explain how you do that.
Yeah, well, I think well, there's a few things here. So, firstly, if someone wants to have a conversation about their situation, so this is like a no obligations kind of
Yeah,
free, no obligation, like you had.
I had.
That's
Yeah,
what it's never, it's just really informal chat where we talk about your situation, how we may be able to help you, what maybe to focus on. And if you want to talk further, then that's always a possibility, but it's not dependent on that. Like whether there's no expectations as to where that conversation goes in terms of, whether you're hiring us beyond Sjogren's to work with you or not. So that would be like the first that would be like the best next step because then we can just talk and
yeah. Have a
like
chat,
just
see
have
where
a
they're
chat.
at, where, yeah.
But I know that most people are not going to do that, and yeah, they won't.
They're not? What are they
No,
going to do?
they are going to not do that.
Okay. Why not? I mean, here you are offering to really ease Sjogren's for us.
Yeah, I know. You would think so. Most people are not ready to have
It
that
can be
conversation.
scary.
They have to be ready.
Yeah,
So absolutely, if you
that's
like
true.
kind of like me and want to have a chat, I am me. As you can see, I'm not posing as anything. I'm just myself, and this is how I am. And so when you talk to me, I'll be exactly like this. And so if you want to have a chat with me about your situation, that's totally, you're welcome, absolutely. If you don't feel like you're ready to have that conversation, you just want to learn more a bit about
Yeah.
what we do, how our approach. I think the best format right now for that is our Facebook group called Beyond Sjogren's
I'll have
Natural
all your details
Cancer.
down below as well for everyone to
So
click
there we have
on.
some reasonably in-depth videos about the root causes of Sjogren's and diet, um, other elements around energy, fatigue, hormones.
Yeah.
So that
I
that can
found your
help.
hormone one really interesting. The
Okay,
most recent
yeah.
lives that you do. No, it's definitely very, very interesting.
So that's a good entrance. And then yeah, but definitely if you feel like you're ready for a chat, if you feel you're ready for the next step, like if you recognize that you need help and you're not getting it from anywhere else, then there's no harm having a chat and seeing what a personalized approach might look like for you. Um, and yeah, I think that's
Thank you so much. Yeah.
yeah, I think does
It's
that answer the
it's
question?
probably gonna go in 1 minute, if that. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
say thank you so much. That really, honestly, thank you so much for being here. Thank you.